Amex. And to be fair, yeah, and they managed to get all the way up to Lipovka, fairly unscathed. Well, normally drop there.
But he's gets relatively slow goings. R8. My opinion, if they can set it up properly and have the wherewithal to know, okay, we might have a couple towards yes. We gatekeeper. It's Red Force R8. Potentially about Falcon. Time being. Still got IG coming onto your backside. You have, of course.
Just trying to keep an eye out towards Nongshim, who are taking some shots over towards Power as well.
He's still relatively quiet. Tense game. They're on the move. Chinky. Off to the left. G's Terry. Finally get a move. Not they're which is good. Bridge. Group then include it's going to be which when you're going to be one to get back to this conversation that we have is going to be keep honest. I think opportunity thing to do cannibalize for APG.
There. They did to in who find themselves in a fairly spot. They don't.
Look, that area, and that's where they tended to gave around where to get they want, but area on edge, very cool, super clear. It's going to team of them. Up, still going to reach about the continue.
Mike, to go. An urban environment. Look at everybody. Currently on the side of the base, becoming that bridge. Potential a card play here could bring a to the two.
Looking at 7. Going to be on the side of Rev. That's going to be depending on side state of the zone is what they're loving it. I do have looking to put in a little bit of cooking. So you have to assume this fight likely is going down. Wanted TG. Want to get out your AX back. Actually, we're ready.
Is the scrap of the area for local places like roadblock. So, but it gets slow again. One another and arms the forefront of their mind.
So in the military side, you have the main. I choose just next to it. You get a trope. It's not. You're going to have a hub. Craft start bit the Matt. Down route from Falcons as they do get active. We talked about them having to rotate far up north. Taking down Falcons here would be big for them. Obviously, Alpha 7 still wants to be the champions once again. Taking down the home team this early on. Stopping them and stopping their chances.
Number 4 up towards that hillside. As Mafioso descends, it's Carrillo who draws first blood.
Off to the left and the zone shift. Weibo once again has to relocate and go to the north, but this time it's going to be the most difficult rotation they have had yet because Turnip already had them on the radar. AP
will be slow now as the circle puts pressure on. Are they going to chase, or are they going to try and keep things together and go for a different approach? Meanwhile, Alter Ego trying to push over towards AXTMG as they disengage from Thunder Talk. They put themselves into another sightline, and it will be on this top side of the hill. The nade in from Krypton, but no one's going down just yet.
They've got to make a decision. If you're Alter Egos, you've got AXTMG to your north, you've got Thunder Talk to your south, you've got to crash in on one, and it looks like it's going to be AXTMG. If you can disengage from this, you just got to full send it directly into the middle of the zone. Depot T cannot take down Rosemary. Mind you, update, we do lose Intense Game. Our first team, by the way. With how chaotic these zones have been, I am surprised we are just now losing only one team. Back on board with Henry, up close, he goes down. Alter Egos need this win. They need to recover from the rough game number one that they had, and they're doing exactly that in sensational style.
They slipped the pin, and Alter Ego managed to get around to the other side of AXTMG. With Rosemary down, another as well, down on bended knee. They'll need to try and pick it up, but of course they can. It's Alter Ego. But can they get Rosemary back in time? Because Thunder Talk are following in their footsteps.
Thunder Talk, like you said, right behind them. They were going to pincer in Alter Egos when they were opposite of AXTMG. But now Alter Egos can put their focus on the Jing as well as the entirety of Thunder Talk, taking them down with control. They would monopolize the northern side of the current zone, which would be massive for them. But this isn't going to be easy. Thunder Talk is taking the first shots. Krypton taking a bit of damage. You got vehicles to disengage, but where they are forced to fight.
4 players, though, so they do have a shot here into the stage. You go. Look at it. Pressure up. Closer down towards Mill. Next serve is going to come on through. Okay. Goes a lot. So Ida definitely not wanting to. Go now up to 7. That first game, forget about it. Eyes on Erangel.
And you know what? That's impressive and going to be a massive talking point going into the final stages, because Alter Egos, they can take a bad game and a terrible loss and then turn it around the very next games, which shows composure, shows tenacity, and shows their ability to keep their head in the game despite potentially going through struggles. That's how you become a champion, and I'm calling it early. Alter Egos might very well be in the top 3 running. We look at E-Arena now, Alpha 7. We haven't seen Alpha 7 get active for just a little bit. The last time was against Falcons. This time we've got an opportunity against the Arena, and Alpha 7 should win this with the utility being thrown and the early damage being affected. Joker is feeling it. Alpha 7, you know them. They're going to want to push this as aggressively as they can.
It feels like this may be their final rotation of the game. They've moved into the roadblock, and they're just trying to survive now, try and outlast these teams. Sure, they can get these nades. I don't imagine that they have the presence, the pressure with 3 players alive to go for a full push here. They might be able to pick up some E-List, but it's R8, I think, who are going to be able to earn the lion's share of this engagement, of this push towards E-Arena.
Yeah, R8's going to be just behind him. Gamex does have an opportunity potentially to fire some shots. I think they've got to keep their heads down, though, because you have Alter Ego Ares, who is firing down on Gamex's position. But here is R8. You mentioned them now pushing in. You got to feel bad for E-Arena. They're between R8, they're between Alpha 7, and they're all huddled within the same location, which makes nades and utility that much more effective. For Alpha 7, though, they continue to bunker down where they are currently at. They do not want to move, and I think this is an opportunity where Gamex, because can't they peek them, if I'm not mistaken, from their location?
It's difficult. There's a little bit of cover. The terrain does give you some cover off. Obviously, Carrillo has the terrain of the actual roadblock itself, of the checkpoint to play cover towards Gamax. It's just about covered off, and that is a disadvantage of playing on this checkpoint, is that it is a bit of a dearth of information. For Alpha 7, yeah, especially as a three-player team, I just don't.
They might be giving up this fight between Alpha 7 and E Arena. Maybe ID comes back into the fold, but I think for them, taking the northern side, maybe challenging the weaker force of Falcons. I say weaker only because they're down to a duo. Meanwhile, R8 still a 4-man unit would be powerful. For E Arena, they've got the hard cover, but now they've got to push into Alpha 7. This isn't going to be easy for E Arena. You got R8 still behind you with a couple of stragglers who are just keeping you uncomfortable. Alpha 7 in front of you. If E Arena makes it out of this, there's no way that they lose this game. If they do make it out unscathed, that is, but I expect them, even if they do win it, they're losing at least 2 or 3.
I mean, Alter Ego, though, still there. That's going to be one hell of a hurdle to cross. They're already up to 11 elims, by the way. R8 trying to make their approach, and E Arena will go 1-for-1 on the trade. Ida has to back up and look for the res here. Prestige not going to waste any time. A big nade coming through from Mormon, though, and that's going to change the tide of things. Prestige needs to commit, needs to get some damage here. Looks good with the arc. Is he going to be able to connect too much more? The reses are coming through for R8, and they're keeping the pressure up, but the res comes through, and now 4 players still stand for E Arena.
Awkward, he can't even get up. You got Outbriefus from APG, who might be on the
E Arena compound. This Alpha Gaming flex out, I mean, it was a risk, but it's paid off beautifully. Alpha 7, are they trying to look for a move?
Looks
no,
like
I
it.
don't think so. Not just yet, but Carrillo's sending nades on in. They're keeping the pressure up on the other side of this engagement.
This is messy, this is chaotic. The winner of this fight could very well go on to win game number 2 Aaron Gale of the day. The Alpha Gaming has moved even further up. They're taking the forward position. E Arena now has a couple of players who are down, 2 players to stand up. Carrillo, he wants to push up. He wants to at least get a line of sight on any stragglers who peek their head over the corner. Prestige finally moving in. He's been waiting to do this for the longest time. A nade's being cooked. He swings the angle. He gets the drop, but it's not done just yet. E Arena fights back through the window. R8 are down. It's down to Mark, who hits the shotgun shot through the doorway, though. Clutching up is our boy Mormon from E Arena. But now, is this the time where Alpha 7 says enough is enough? We know you're weak. We're taking you down.
They don't have the pressure, and that's the disadvantage of this location. They are just hiding here. They don't have the time or the angles to push up towards it. Fortunately, they don't have to, because the circle is going to force E Arena over towards them. They have got that top shot going over their heads from Gamax to suppress E Arena's rotation, and even further behind them, Alter Ego have those shots. It's going to make E Arena's approach really, really difficult. Power trying to leave Milta as well. The options are shutting down now for E Arena.
Hovercraft for power, by the way. They still have it. We'll keep that in mind. That's going to be so valuable in these open in-game fights. For E Arena, astounding performance for Alive. We cannot discredit how amazing that is, getting pincer between R8, having APG also moving in on you. The fact that they move out with 4 is something I was not expecting. If Joker can somehow, some way get on top of this roof and look down on Alpha 7, E Arena could make a play of a lifetime and push even deeper into zone, but he's already taken damage from the distance.
That's Alter Ego, and even with that high ground advantage, you just can't take those angles. the shape of the terrain just doesn't allow it. They try and go for this crash. Alpha 7 have such a strong hold, and Carrillo's holding face against 2, finds them, and immediately shuts them down. Norman in the smoke, and Carrillo retreats a little bit closer towards his teammates, but he's helping out. He's getting bold. The weapon swap's there, and the team of the arena are falling. Joker with a nade, but Carrillo is farming them as they approach.
Oh, but the nade connects on the Carrillo. The farming ends, and Joker becomes the farmer himself, but only for just a little bit. Carrillo should get back onto his feet, and now we are down to our top 4 teams, and finally, Gamex starts to get active. They're getting pushed, and it's Alter Ego.
From the northeast side, Power have managed to move up behind Alter Ego, so it could be dangerous. The ground floor now taken. Moana, Krypton, followed by Rosemary into the ground floor now, pushing Gamex up on high. Molotovs to burn it, to slow things down before they can get this res, though. These nades are going to start to come on through. Healing now being done, and Alter Ego have pressure from the high ground that they have just deserted.
Rosemary bottom left. He's been the highest damage dealer so far. Krypton as well, to be a great courtesy to Rosemary's performance. Gamex getting pieced apart, but Arthur wants to stop the bleeding. He wants to put Alter Egos into the grave, but will it be possible? I don't know. You got Rosemary, the top dog, with Krypton down below, and he's hugging a corner. He's hugging it tight, but the question is, does Gamex give up their high ground? They're on the second floor. I don't think they do, but Arthur is burning, but only for a little bit.
He has that first aid. Nades being poured over towards Alpha 7, huddled behind the checkpoint. Where? How are they finding these hiding places? I don't know. Carrillo fully flushed out. The nades keep going, and Power are putting more and more pressure on as time goes on. Gamex, they're not out of it just yet. They've managed to extract some value out of Alter Ego, but they will finally fall. Alpha 7 are next to go down, and Power now have it all to do. They've got 4 players alive if they get this res, and Alter Ego on 3.
And they have the hovercraft as well. We cannot discredit how powerful that might be in this end zone, but it's hovercraft versus hardcover POI. Alter Ego's areas, 15 eliminations. 15, absolute insanity. We've been singing their praises. We've been talking about how amazing Rosemary is and how great this roster might be in the finals. Could they be consistent from yesterday to today? Well, game 1 gave us a bit of a fright. Maybe they're starting to slow down, but game 2, they shut us right up with 15 elims, now top 2 going for gold.
And Krypton is ahead of them, the tip of the spear. He is the top fragger right now. He's been doing a lot of work coming in on today, and he has still got a little bit more gas left in the tank. Over to easy. Krypton and Moana. Moana goes down, and Krypton falls next. A nice hold there along the sight lines for Power, and it's all up to the man himself. It's Rosemary with a chance to prove that he could take a 1v4. Sure, it might be against Power, but it would be legendary. Unfortunately, it's not to be, and Power managed to leave Milta in the chaos, move in behind Alter Ego, and they take a chicken dinner.
9 eliminations, mind you. A big difference from the Power that we've been seeing in the previous days. Power takes the first win of the day for themselves. Of course, game number 2, but you cannot discredit how amazing Alter Ego's Ares are to snap back from game number 1 into game 2. But Power, a roster that I expect a lot from. They've been on the minds of the desk. They've been on the minds of the talent. Finally, they performed the way we were expecting.
There he is, the man himself. Haji, fucking hell happy. We love it. We love it. And we are, of course, going to see how that's going to affect the standings. But I think another big story on this is, of course, Alter Ego. 15 elims, second place. That's going to give them 21 points. They kicked off the game on 78, which is going to put them up at 100.
Is pretty much top 8 already guaranteed, right? Coming out from the team of Alter Egos. They want to catch 4 thrives. They want to be in first place, and the opportunity is there because we're still talking. You said it, right? Going into Sanhok, there's a lot of money on the line that we haven't talked about as much. What, $80,000? So you want to definitely secure that, give you a little bit of a confidence boost heading in to the finals. Game number 2 has concluded. We've still got plenty more to go. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, game 3 coming your way.
level up your gaming experience with over 8 billion playlists, only on Spotify, the official audio streaming partner for the 2025 Esports World Cup.
that they kind of slow down a little bit towards EA.
Yeah, I mean, they did try to go for another third party there onto E-Arena and Alpha 7. The thing is, the fight didn't fully begin. And the issue with that is that then they were forced to wait on the edge because they were nade range, they were getting pushed on back, and off the back of that, they just get keep getting forced against the side of the blue. And unfortunately, that's the main issue with third parties. When you are delayed significantly, you're then forced to go into a fight you just don't want to take anymore. And because of that, R8 were not able to go the entire way. The first third party, amazing. Second one, a little bit lackluster for me.
It was a bit shaky there. And then on top of that, I mean, you had E-Arena Sakura just popping off through the smoke. Two players, one shotgun. He made it happen. As we're going to be taking a look here at the match ranking. Alter Ego Aries, even though they didn't get the win, this team was just absolutely dominating. 15 eliminations, 21 points total there, Max.
We really need to talk about Alter Ego right now because
take your time.
They drop Lipovka, they go for wide rotation into the side of Mill to Power, go back up to the mountain of Lumberyard, eliminate, I mean, every single team on Lumberyard. I think that 11 eliminations the moment they start to leave Lumberyard, go for the push onto GMX's compound, and that's keeping in mind that the circle just kept shifting away from them. Like, this is not a gifted circle win that they could have gotten. No, they had to fight for it tooth and nail the entirety of this match. So Alter Ego, man, they are bringing the heat just like yesterday.
And one thing I really enjoy about Alter Ego, Neptura, was how quickly that decision-making with the fights ended up happening.
Seeing is just their timing. They're able to just make a decision.
Got eliminated first.
Very confused as to why they did that 2-2 split. I think it was top and so easy to execute. And then they're just down to a duo at the very end. So